Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining our session today. This is called Live from the One Button Studios with our lead guru, Patrick Kittrell. He's the Education Technology Specialist here on the team. Pat?
Hello, everyone. Thank you, David. Thank you for joining us today. And I'm going to give you a nice overview of both studios. So just a little bit about me. I'm the Education Technology Specialist, as David mentioned. I'm the Blackboard Administrator, and I'm also responsible for testing, evaluating new products, new technology like the One Button Studio, and also making sure that as a community, we get the best value, we get a good return on our investment. So before I get started, let's see here. I like to go to the group and ask, does anyone have any experience using the studio? And if so, would you please share your experience? See, we have Julian King on the line. Julian.
Absolutely. Thank you, Pat. And it's good to be here. Yes, I have experience using it. Working with the gun violence prevention program throughout this summer, we had an opportunity to use the One Button Studio, having external stakeholders come create content for that specific program in that course, whether it was talking about, high gun violence in certain areas, or whether certain areas are more susceptible to low income issues. Having them be able to come create that content. The One Button Studio is so easy. It's literally one button. They were able to record it in a day. And the ability to use Kaltura, one of the tools we already have in Blackboard and here at the UDC, to be able to upload that content and create it and create an accessible model for it, to be able to create those closed captions and those transcripts that Kaltura automatically creates for a lot of our faculty and for the videos you upload. It was just a great opportunity. And I think that, the One Button Studio made it a very seamless transition for us to be able to create that content, especially the amount of videos we had to create over the summer for that program. So it was great. And I think for any faculty using it, it's very easy to use, and I highly recommend it.
And Julian, let me ask you, so did once the videos were created, did they upload using OneDrive, or did they use a thumb drive to upload their videos?
So we used our thumb drive to upload those videos. Some faculty, we got the videos sent to their email and they were able to just upload them from their computer directly. But either one is very easy. Me personally, it was easy just to send it to my email and upload it through there. But some of our external stakeholders used their thumb drive, and that was also a good tool as well.
Awesome. Thank you, Julian.
No
is there anyone else who wants to share their experience?
Yeah, I would love to share. So just like what Julian was saying, over the summer, we worked with our Makerspace program here on campus, and we did some presentation skills, and they had to self-introduce themselves using the studios, which was great. It's just a different kind of way to present yourself and really that background. And it could be quick, like a minute or less, that quick presentation, but literally pressing one button, recording, uploading it. Perfect.
Thank you, David. I see John's on the call.
Yes.
John, how are you?
Yeah, very well.
So John, can you introduce yourself?
Yes, my name is John. I'm a student worker with C.A.L, and I also work with David and Pat and Fatma. And for the One Button Studios, just like Julian and David, I've also had an experience using it, and it's a really versatile tool. And in this summer, I used it with the gun violence program, whereby the faculty, the instructors, and the students were working on some projects, and they had to make some demo presentation using the One Button Studios. The program ended up even taking some pictures, and just as Julian and David have said, we saved this on the thumb drive. And also the instructors also use the One Button Studios in uploading and sending the recorded videos to their emails. And also I remember the dean in the School of Engineering and Applied Sciences, we did an introduction demo and actual introduction video about UDC School of Engineering. It was a 6 minutes recorded, introduction about the School of Engineering. And he did a PowerPoint presentation using the One Button Studios and used various features in the presentation of the PowerPoint. And the video is actually now in the School of Engineering. And this was an introduction to incoming students and prospective applicants. And it was done in a very customized, versatile, and actually user-friendly way. Yeah.
And would you recommend the One Button Studios to students, and why?
Yes, I would recommend the One Button Studios to students because when it comes to making presentations, I like the features. I also like that, especially in this climate that we have of, online classes and hyperflex, you can save your presentation, and also you can, share it. You can record it before the class, and you can share it. And also the fact that it's pre-recorded and you can save it. You don't have to do like a live demo. You can also share it before, where people can also watch. And also the presentation modes you can use have various features, which I see them as a creative way of presenting, especially like PowerPoints and projects. So I would recommend it to students. Yep.
Thank you, John. I really appreciate that. And as
Yep.
John mentioned, the studios are designed to work seamlessly with PowerPoint. So let me just go over the agenda for today. Today we are going to discuss the purpose of the studios. I'm going to demonstrate various use cases for recording and or presenting your content. I'm going to start here in the One Button Studios, and then I'll transition to Lightboard Studios, and then if there's any questions, I will take your questions and thereafter. All right. So also, I also want to mention that if you would like to book the One Button Studios, David, he'll go over how to do that. Basically, you'll navigate to our PD website, and right there you can see the arrow where the arrow is pointing. You click on that button there, and it will take you to where you can register for training or booking the One Button Studios. Okay. All right. So purpose of the studios, right? Let's talk a little bit about that. Studios allows users to record professional videos without any video production experience at all. So you can hear just with John and Julian how easy it was for them to use the studios, but other users were able to use the studios with ease. So you come in, you press a button to turn on the studios, and then you would use this, I like to call it a control panel, to control the various functions of the studio. And I'll go over that a little bit later on. Once you record your presentation, that presentation can be uploaded using the thumb drive or using OneDrive. Right. Another purpose of the studio is users can interact with their content. And let me ask, when it comes to interacting with your content, it's very helpful. That's one of the unique things about the One Button Studios. You don't have to just have a PowerPoint presentation on the screen like what you see here. You can actually interact with what you're presenting. But let me ask, is it really important to interact with your content? Do we really need to interact with our content? Like, what type of benefit would it be to interact with your content?
I think I can take that.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's important to interact with content because in a way it drives the message home, and also presentations can be standard, and also they can metamorphose in a way that you want it to be, creative, or also re-emphasize maybe on some parts of your presentation. So the more you interact with it, you can be able to put more emphasis in some parts or some areas of your presentation. And also, depending also on the mode of presentation, if maybe you want more visuals, or if maybe it's more text, you can be able to, I would say, pronounce some parts of your presentation based on the interaction. So, and also interaction also gives you the autonomy to, I would say, take charge on some on the message that you want to give. So I think it's important, and also it makes the presentation more creative, and also to the presenter. That's all I would say.
That's a good point, Sean. Just to piggyback on that a little bit, when you think about interaction, think about when you watch the news for a weather report. Of course, we can get the weather on our smartphones, but for some of us, we like to watch the news to get our weather report. And, before you get that 5-day forecast, newscasters actually giving you a nice overview of the weather. And typically he'll flash that 5-day forecast up on the screen just by himself. But before that, you'll see like a map of the area. It could be a map of the country with the different temperatures around the country. And so by doing that, he's gaining your confidence. He's gaining your trust as a viewer as to what he's presenting, right? Because you can go get the news from anywhere, but newscasters like to gain your confidence. They like to gain your trust so that you can trust what they're presenting is accurate and has been vetted. So a weather person interacting with the content is a good way of them gaining your trust before they give you that 5-day forecast. And also think about voting, right? When we think about voting and election results and things of that nature, a lot of times, depending on what type of where you get your news from, you will see the news journalist, he'll have a display board. And again, just like with the weather report, he has a map of the country. He's showing you where those votes are coming in at all throughout the country, just to gain your confidence. And again, that interactivity keeps you engaged, right? Keeps you engaged as a viewer. David, you want to add to something?
Yeah, sure. And I really like with the One Button Studios, you showed this a little bit, but you can put the whole slide on the screen, right? So that takes up the full screen. And then you can have the audience read the slide or kind of look at what's on the screen. And then Pat can put himself at the forefront now and then point out individual aspects of that. So I really like that way of presenting information and just making it more dynamic and engaging.
Yes. You have something to add, Julian?
No, I think I hit on it. Just that engagement piece, just engaging our students in the content, especially in courses that are heavy in visuals and infographics. I think this really does bring a heavier sense of engagement and accountability to these presentations.
Yeah, and we've used PowerPoint so many times, right, throughout this pandemic, but the way that you're just kind of moving the PowerPoint around or the slide,
right,
it's awesome.
Keeps you engaged, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And then, we talk about interaction. Think about apps like TikTok, right? What's going on when you watch a TikTok video, right? There's a presenter of some sort, and they're interacting with content, and the content could be music, could be a recipe, could be some sort of dance, but there's some sort of content there, right? And it's short and sweet and right to the point. The last time I did this demo, someone asked, well, how long can I record? You record a video up to 20, 30 minutes if you like, but do you really want to? As consumers, we don't like to consume long forms of video. So the One Button Studio is great in terms of creating short videos that are straight to the point, just like you would if you were watching a TikTok video. And with the popularity of YouTube, with the popularity of TikTok, you have YouTube Shorts, which are short. YouTube is already a popular site in and of itself, but because of the consumption of small chunks of information and content and video, you have YouTube Shorts, which is just like TikTok. You also have Facebook Stories, which is small portions of video content, and it's all interactive. One type of video I like to watch on YouTube is unboxing videos, right? So you have some sort of product, which is your content, and you have someone interacting with the content. And again, short, straight to the point, kind of goes back to what I was mentioning about interacting with your content. Any other questions? Julian.
Okay, I had to make sure I wasn't on mute. Now, just piggybacking on what you're saying, we're talking about making accessible content and the UDL design of learning. We have to chunk these videos. They should never be those long videos. Exactly what you're talking about, chunking them, minute, 2 minute, 3 minute videos. We want to make them accessible and easy for students to be able to digest when they're going through courses.
Absolutely. Thank you, Julian. So with all that said, using One Button Studios, instructors can diversify their content to enhance the student experience, right? And if you think about this, if you think about creating content like you would a TikTok video or YouTube short video, this will allow you to diversify your content and, again, engage your students in a different way. And, hey, this is fun, you know? This allows you to have fun while you're presenting your content. Don't I look like I'm having fun, y'all? All right. So the One Button Studios by default has 4 different backgrounds. I think David mentioned that earlier. You have this beautiful blue, gorgeous gold. You have your library background, office background. And if you like, using PowerPoint, we can have our own custom background. Okay. So let's get into some use cases. So one of the things that the studio is good for is processes, right? Describing different types of processes in the cycle type of format. So for instance, if I want to talk about step number 1 of a particular process, and then I want to talk about that in detail, I can talk about how that would take me to step number 2. Step number 2 would take me to step number 3, and then we go right back to step number 1. And if you notice, I don't have any text here, right? I don't have any text because I want the audience to pay attention to me and pay attention to the content that I have on the screen. It just get lost with a whole lot of text. So an example of what I just went over is this infographic here, the water cycle process. Does anyone have any knowledge of what the water cycle process is?
Sure.
Oh, is that Drew?
Yes. Hi.
Hey, Drew.
I mean, I was in causes, so I took all these LinkedIn learning courses on things, including one that talked a lot about the water cycle process.
Oh, you're cheating, Drew. That's cheating. Now go ahead, Drew. So walk us through the water cycle process in 3 steps.
Well, you have to get. I kind of like to start with the water that's there on the ground.
Yes.
And then you suck that up because of evaporation,
Mm-hmm.
and it goes into the air.
Yes.
And then from there, it will eventually get back to the ground via rain or some other precipitation. And then it will either have runoff on the surface or it will seep into the ground. And then if you have groundwater, then that's another place it can end up.
Absolutely. And again, great way to describe a particular process using One Button Studios. It's not a whole lot of text. You know, again, I can make that infographic bigger, go back to it. Drew, he described it perfectly. Drew, I would give, you know, for your contribution, I would give you a set of VR glasses, but you already have some, so I can't.
I'm all good, Patrick. I'm just pleased to be here in your expert presence.
Thank you, Drew. All right, so here's another example. Here's the chart, right? A nice chart here, nice infographic chart here. And if I want, I can talk about this bar here with the push of a button using this control panel here. I can make it bigger, right? And I can talk about urban males here. Or I can stay where I'm at and focus, have your attention focus more on the information and less of me. I'm not that good looking, trust me. And then I can take myself out and then come right on back with my chart here. Any comments about this piece? All right. Here's another one that I found. This is a, let's say you're teaching a course on business, corporate business structure, right? And you want to talk a little bit about how to, how the executive branch of a corporate business is structured. You can use this chart here that I got from, I actually pulled this down from Adobe Stock. Pulled it down from Adobe Stock, which is available to faculty. And again, you can go in depth, talk about the CDO, CEO, so on and so forth. So here's an animation. Let's take a look at this. Here's an animation, right? I pulled this down from PowerPoint 3D. You can actually insert 3D images from PowerPoint. So here is a body of water. Here's the sun. Got some precipitation, evaporation going on here. It's trickling down back to our body of water. And what's the name of this process again?
Water cycle.
There you go. That's 2 headsets for you, Drew. All right. Also, after you record your video, you can, using one button, you can actually take a screenshot and you can use this as a thumbnail to add to your video.
That's cool. You look very thoughtful there.
Thank you, Drew. Thank you. So, does anyone have any questions?
So Pat, how do you add a 3D model in PowerPoint? And I can show it actually, even though I asked the question.
Can you show it, David?
I can show it. So why don't I go ahead and show that, because it is a great useful feature within PowerPoint that many don't know about. So I have my PowerPoint open right here. And if I go to Insert, you'll see next to Shapes, Icons, it says 3D Models. If I click on 3D Models, and let's find the one that Pat used. It's called Animated for Education. So I can go ahead and click on this one with the rain cycle. And a great thing about this is that you can show it just like Pat did in the One Button Studios, but in your presentations, I can also move it around. And you can see there are different details here. And these are all included within PowerPoint, just under those 3D models. Right? Anything to add about this, Pat?
Yes. And so, yes, you definitely can move it around. I chose to do 2 copies of it so that I wouldn't have to move it around and I can just focus on transitioning my slides. So that you can see different areas of the image. But yes, it was very, thank you, David. Exactly. Just like David did. So yes, very easy to do and very high quality images.
Yeah, Pat, I like that idea of on a PowerPoint, you put it in different angles so you can see different parts of it. And then just like you did, you can point at different parts right on the screen.
Parts very easily. And again, excellent. All the manipulation being done using one button.
Yeah, thank you, Pat.
Thank you. So with that, I am going to transition over to the Lightboard Studios. And I will hand it over to David. Did you want to, you had something else to add, David?
Yeah. So as you transition, I will show everyone on here how to book these One Button Studios. It's quite easy. So I'll go ahead and share my screen, and I'll also put the link in the chat box for you. So we have everything that's booked. It's on Calendly. So let me put the link in the chat box. If you are watching this, I'll also give a QR code so you can scan with your phone. So let me go ahead and put the QR code here as well. So if you do scan that QR code with your phone or click on the link in the chat box, this will take you directly to this booking page for the One Button Studios. Now we made it quite easy. The One Button Studios are available every day to book at different times for 2-hour blocks. So if I click on the 24th, for example, it's available at 1 p.m. I'll do a test booking right now. So I'll go ahead and click on that and confirm. And I'll put my name and my UDC email. Remember, this is open to faculty, staff, and students to book. There are 3 different services that you may require. Number 1 is training. I have never used the room before. So if you have never used this, we will go ahead and train you. The second one is training, but maybe I need a refresher. It's been a while. And the third is booking. I have already been trained. So I'll go ahead and put booking since I have already been trained. I can put staff here and share anything that will help prepare us for your session. For example, I want to show 3D models on screen, right? So that can help us prepare. And then the studios are located on the 6th floor of Building 71, 4250, room 6243. Click on I understand and I'll schedule that. So once it's booked, you will get that confirmation email. We'll also get a confirmation email here on the C.A.L team. So as you can see, my test booking here, I have it from 1 to 3 p.m. on Wednesday, August 24th. You have that 2-hour booking. And remember, you can go ahead and get trained for this, or if you've already been trained, just let us know and you can start using that room right away. So again, I'll go back to this main page. I'll put the link in the chat box as well. So one more time. And then if you are watching this recording, I'll go ahead and put the QR code on the screen. Makes it really easy. Just point your camera at that and that will open up on your mobile device, right? And how does the studio work for 2 people interacting with one another? Great question. So if students do want to come in a small group or in pairs, they can go ahead and do that so they can interact on screen side by side, right? Thank you, Drew. And anything to add, Pat?
Oh, can you hear me okay?
I can hear you great.
Great.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for that, David. Appreciate it. So, welcome everyone to the Lightboard Studios. Lightboard Studios has the same type of function features as the One Button, but now I can actually annotate on the glass here with my content, right? So when you're creating a presentation in PowerPoint for the Lightboard Studio, it's very important that you use a black background because the black background will be removed. The system will automatically remove black, giving you this nice transparent image that you see here. Nice transparent image that you see here. Automatically remove black. Also, you want to make sure that you're wearing dark colors, right? It could be dark blues or grays. I have on a dark green shirt, which works well. But with my image here, if I were to take this, right, you can see that it's a lot harder to see the image holding this up. My dark green shirt, it's a lot easier. So the nice thing about the Lightboard Studios, as I mentioned before, you can take your content and you can actually annotate while you're presenting, right? So I can draw a little line here, right? And I can draw a little line here. And I can ask the group, does anyone know the name of, so the lower part of the leg has 2 bones. Does anyone know?
Is it the patella?
What is that, Julian?
Is it the patella?
Ulnar?
The bigger one is called the tibia.
Well, I was wrong.
But the smaller one is called the fibula.
I was definitely wrong.
Oh,
It's okay.
Good to know.
never took anatomy. Gonna have to learn that.
But again, that interaction right there, very easy, very easy. But this is just one use case. So here is an animated image that I actually pulled from Adobe stock, right? I'm not going to ask you the name of the bones, but You can see how very easily, even though this is an animated image, it's still transparent, right? And if I want to, I can write this space here. But what if I wanted to write, what if I wanted to use the whole board? I can go to my touch panel, and now I'm positioned here. So now I can do some more annotating. Doesn't really make sense, but that's all right. It's just a demo. But I can do more annotating if I want to. And I can erase that if I like. I want to focus your attention more on me, less on the content. I can do that as well. Or I can just have you focus on me. Very easily. Any questions about this image here? Okay. There's another use case. What if I have a drawing of some sort? And I want to talk about the various parts of this drawing. Again, I can take my marker here. I can draw a little line here. I can say this is the handle. But we're not just limited to this one color. Use this color. I could say second handle. Right? And I can talk about how the numbers correspond to the numbers on this side, so on and so forth. So it's great for these types of diagrams and schematics. Let's look at another use case. Here's another animation. This is a reaction. Here's my formula. Again, these images are coming from PowerPoint, right? Here's my formula here. Any science majors in the house want to talk about this formula? And here's my chart here. Some more calculations here. And with the push of a button, now I can discuss how my formula causes this reaction. And again, I can move this around. I can take that out. I can focus more on the presentation, less on me. So on and so forth. Okay. Okay. Here's another one that I pulled from Adobe stock. Let's say you're teaching a course on robotics, and you want to talk about how robotics is going to be used in the future to deliver our mail or our packages. And I actually like this robot delivering my packages, because at least I know that my packages won't get thrown on my doorstep. But let's just say I want to talk about how we can design another arm or another type of extension to our robot. You know, I could draw an arm here, draw an arm here, and so on and so forth. We can have a nice, rich discussion as to how we can redesign this robot in a way that works for us. So, to conclude, the One Button Studios is here available to you to use at your discretion. You can definitely book training and book the studios. I encourage you to be creative when you're using the studios. Definitely give us feedback as to how we can make the experience better. And any other thing you want to add, Drew or David?
I just had a couple of questions from earlier,
Sure.
but I can wait. These are not really related to your presentation directly.
Yeah, but Pat, I think that the use cases you presented are really relevant for our faculty. I really like that picture as well. But really thinking about, even at the start of the semester, how your students can present information, how they can introduce themselves. Remember, it's a simple PowerPoint or a GIF that's on the screen. It's a great way to make a presentation more dynamic. And also the students will get to know the center here on the 6th floor.
Definitely great for introducing yourself. Again, like Julian mentioned, doesn't have to be, we don't want long presentations, whether you're introducing yourself or presenting content, nice, small, bite-sized information, similar to what a lot of the younger students are used to getting from platforms like TikTok and YouTube and things of that nature. So yes, good point, David. And Julian, you want to add something?
Yeah, just real quickly. I think these are great tools and resources for students to be able to create content. And I think one thing we talk about when we're creating authentic assessments and authentic learning activities for students are relevant activities that allow students to create and really demonstrate mastery. And I think some of these tools will allow students to be able to, in a variety of ways and modalities, to be able to demonstrate their knowledge and their mastery of certain outcomes for specific courses. So I love it.
Thank you. And Julian said the magic word. He said, create, right? So let your creativity shine will be my final word for today.
Excellent. And you know what, Pat, I really love how easy it is. And you're not even wearing a microphone and we can hear you very, very clearly. It looks very professional. I love that logo in the lower right corner. Awesome.
Yes, absolutely, David. Absolutely. Yep. Thank you.
And Drew has a question.
Oh, go ahead, Drew.
I had a couple of questions. One would be, okay, so these are great. And I want to use, I think in the next week, I'm going to start booking for at least the One Button Studio. I had a question about, you already answered the question about having 2 people in there so you could maybe interview or interact with another person live. Can you set it up through, say, a window you're going to show where you're interviewing somebody off-site or at another computer somewhere? And say you're standing up in the One Button Studio and there's a rectangle there that shows the person you're going to be interviewing. And so they're on. So you could think of the news show where you might have the host interviewing somebody who's off-site.
And so your question is, can that person show up on the screen?
Right.
I mean, like this?
Like I'm imagining, like you're doing screen capture of just the image that they have, and you're placing that in that rectangle in the background on the One Button Studio. So this would be kind of a routine.
Yes. You could do that. You could place that image inside the rectangle. Yes.
So like I could be in One Button Studio, and then I could be interviewing a faculty member about how they, for example, used outcomes assessment, for practical reasons. Or I could be interviewing somebody who's an accreditor talking about, here's our system for looking at the outcomes we care about.
So Drew, whatever use case you have, we can definitely get together and do a test to make sure that it's functioning the way you are envisioning that.
Terrific. Yeah, that would be nice, because then you can have little blurbs put up in the right place on a website or a training package. Okay.
Yeah, let's get together and do a test, Drew.
Sure, thanks. The other question was, so we have two types of studios right now. Yes. Could you potentially set up something equivalent to a One Button Studio, but in, for example, just speculating, the metaverse?
In the metaverse? That's a different topic, Drew.
You have Mark Zuckerberg on speed dial, right, Pat? You can ask him, right?
That would be nice, David. That would be nice.
Cool, right?
They do have something like that in the metaverse that you're referring to, Drew. But
like you have 2 people talking and talking to each other, and you push record and you record that interaction, and then you can like play it somewhere else.
Yeah, already David worked on that with Pat and John, but we still not, it's all in the works. We're not going to announce it now until we really find a good application, right, David?
You got it.
Awesome. Okay, cool. I just think this is awesome. This was a really good presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Drew. And thank you, everyone. Thank you, David. You have any
Thank
closing
you.
words, David?
I mean, just from what you saw from Pat today, his use cases, it's really not complicated or difficult. It literally is one button and you go in there. You don't even need a thumb drive. You can just upload it to OneDrive and also directly to Blackboard itself. So Pat, thank you so much for your creativity today. I love the use cases. And for anyone that has questions, please feel free to send us an email. We'd love to work with you. Just like Drew, right? We can work with your use case and really get it off the ground and shining for your course.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. So with that, I hope you have a great weekend. Thank you so much for joining us, and we will see you very soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.